firstly want to thank Mr. McLaurin for that amazing and rousing introduction. I really appreciate that. He was actually one of the first people to really see something in me that maybe no one else saw when I was in middle school and give me that first opportunity that really just put me on the track that I am on now. For that, I will always be continuously grateful. So, as he said, I am a product of the Cumberland County system. I went to Brentwood Elementary School, then I went to William H. Owen Elementary School, went to Douglasburg Middle, Lewis Chapel. I lived in Douglasburg District, and then I went on, of course, to Cumberland International Early College. So I'm Fayetteville native. This is where I'm from and where I claim. So of course I do serve as Miss Spelman College, but I also serve as Miss National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame, which is equivalent to Miss HBCU. So we're all familiar with what HBCUs are, correct? So that's also the capacity that I serve in. But that is not what I'm here to talk about today. As you guys are, I'm a senior as well. I'm class of 2020 as well. I am a senior in college. So senioritis is real. Is anybody feeling that right now?
Yes.
Anybody ready to go?
Yes.
We're here. So I'm not going to hold you too long. I just want to encourage you to get you guys through that final stretch because I know where I was when I was in your shoes. So if everybody can do something for me, I know it's early in the morning. I just need everybody to close their eyes without falling asleep. Some of y'all looking right back at me. Close your eyes. And I want you to envision one thing that you know for sure that you want for your life. What's one thing that you know for sure you want? Does everybody see something? I want to give everybody enough time. Okay, open your eyes. Does anybody mind sharing what they saw? Yes?
To accomplish my career, like to be like a vet tech or a veterinarian, anything like that, like college education.
Awesome.
Yes.
What do y'all say? Yeah, okay, awesome. Period. Okay, who else? Yes? Take your family on an overseas trip. That's awesome. Anybody else want to share? Yes.
My master's degree.
Awesome. Yes.
I saw money.
You saw money. Look, I hope that's what we all saw. Okay, the reason why I asked you guys to do that, because I believe that being successful, whatever you see as success, whether that's college, whether that's a creative career, whatever you see as success, it all starts with knowing what you want. You cannot plan, you cannot have a goal, you cannot achieve a goal if you don't know what you want. That's important because once you know what you want, like I said, you can go about creating a plan to get it, but also when you get in periods of times like this, senior year, that final stretch, second semester, you're really over it. Some of y'all, who's gotten their college acceptances or have gotten, right, so it's like, okay, I'm done, I'm ready to go on to the next thing. You guys are going to orientations, you're kind of over it, as we say, you know? So what's gonna get you through this last stretch, what's gonna make you finish strong, is the thing, is the goal that you already had in mind. Realizing that I wanna take my family overseas. I wanna be a vet, I wanna get that Oscar, I wanna get that master's. I'm going to do what I need to do to get to that point. And if it means finishing this point in my life strong, then that's what I'm going to do. How many people in here don't consider themselves to be a high school, to be a school person? Like school is not really for you, it's like whatever, right? So for those of us who, you know, you don't want to spend a career in academia, you know, for you school is just a tool to get to the next thing. You really have to be strategic in how you feel and how you view school. Because what will keep you passionate about it is realizing that this is indeed a strategy, a tool to get that thing that you want. If you see money, and right now school is the strategy to do that, when you see your books, you need to see money. When you sit in that classroom, you need to see money. Because this is a tool to get there. Does that make sense? So I really just want to encourage you guys to first know what you want, create a plan to get it. So let's say for me, when I was in high school, I was not the model student at all. That's why I think my journey in particular is just crazy because I'm surprised they let me in here. I was not the model student. But something happened my junior year. I found out about Spelman College. And I was like, I would really like to go there. Then I looked at my ACT and my SAT scores, and I looked at the average of the girls who go to Spelman, and I was like, okay, That's fine, all right. I looked at my GPA, I looked at the average GPA of people who go to Spelman. I said, oh, interesting. You know, so all of a sudden, this thing that I didn't really care about, school, these books, doing all that, that became the thing that I needed to master to get what I wanted. The whole rhetoric changed. That whole attitude changed, because now school is just a step that I gotta get to what I want. If I have to care about school to get to what I actually care about, then I'm gonna do it. Because if not, I'm just wasting my time. And that's one thing you need to be serious about. You need to never waste your time. So if you're in your classes and you're not doing your work, or you're not, doing what you need to do, you just think, okay, I don't care about this. But at the end of the day, you still got to be in that class. So you're wasting your time. You never want to do that. So, of course, like I said, find out what you want. Have a plan and stick to it. My plan looked like, let me get serious about school. Let me, make sure that I'm actually getting a relationship with with teachers. I'm so used to saying professors now. With my teachers, because I'm going to need recommendation letters to get into the schools I want to get into. I'm going to need those relationships. That's what my plan looked like, and I stuck to it. And all of a sudden, this thing that wasn't that important to me was. So the last thing that you have to do, once you know what you want, once you've created a plan and that you are going to stick to, is to execute it. So this is second semester senior year. Y'all are literally in the final stretch. This is all execution. All you have to do is walk out what you already know what to do. Does that make sense? Are we in a season of executing? Is that the mindset that we're going into? We're not wasting time? Because one thing that you'll realize once you leave high school, the only thing that is going to matter is the relationships you made and the work you did. It's not going to matter who was cute. It's not going to matter what so-and-so wore. I know I sound so old, but it's true. Like, none of that is going to matter. All that matters is the work that you do right now. So I really want to encourage you guys to, whatever your goal is, whatever is keeping you here, really keep that in mind, because it's going to get hard. And the reason why it's going to get hard is because it's almost over. It's really not, like, you guys are in the final stretch. It's not going to be, the work is not going to be too challenging or anything like that, but it's the fact that you're ready to go. Everything just seems like everybody's asking for way too much from you right now because you want to go. So you have to keep in mind that thing that made you start in the first place. If you have that now, if you correlate or if you develop a work ethic that exists outside of how you feel, now, when you get to college or when you get to that job, that will keep you going. How many of us sit down, if we have an essay or a test to study for or any type of assignment to do, you sit down, you're like, I really don't feel like doing this right now. How many of us don't do it right then? Yeah. That was me. Some people are like, I don't feel like doing this, but they do it. That's crazy. Y'all better than me. If I don't feel like doing it, we just don't do it. Why? Because how we work is so invested in how we feel. You got to change that. Because there are going to be so many times in your life where you just have to show up, you have to deliver, and it's not going to be based on how you feel. You're not going to feel like doing it. You're going to be tired, you're going to be sleepy, you're going to want to be doing anything other than the thing that you have to do. But how you work cannot be based on how you feel. And I know we live in a society that says, do what makes you happy, right? But that can't be based on a moment-to-moment basis, right? So if what makes you happy is being able to take your family on that trip or getting your master's degree, that long-term happiness has to get you through. It's not based on what makes me happy right now is being on Instagram. You're just not doing this work. You have to keep that goal in mind. So that's all I really just want to encourage you guys to do, is to think long-term and to really get through this period, because once you do, you'll realize that it was worth the work. It was worth doing it when you didn't feel like doing it. Aside from that, I just wanted to be here as a resource for you guys. If you have any questions about college, about the process to get there, anything in any of that realm, I'm here for you as well. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Can you tell more about I know college, we expect it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But can you tell some of the stuff on your journey that hit you a little hard, but how you got over it? Right.
I think my biggest obstacle in college was having to face my lack of discipline. That's because in college you have freedom. I know your teachers tell you, when you get to college, ain't nobody gonna tell you to do this. No professor's gonna be in your face. That's so true. So if you don't have self-discipline or you don't have any type of passion that's driving you, you won't be as focused as you need to be. So when I first got to college, I lacked self-discipline I lacked it to the point that I needed it. So of course you have some sense of self-discipline, like I'll do it at the last minute, But pacing myself, and doing it as I need to, I wasn't disciplined enough to do that. But college is different in the sense of there'll be a time where you just can't procrastinate. There's too many things due. There's too many, I's you have to dot, too many T's you got to cross, that you can't wait to do everything at the last minute. There is no finesse. You can't finesse. You have to create a routine and balance for yourself if you want to get the goals that you want to. If you're just trying to get through, okay, that's you. But if you are realizing that this is an investment, you're putting your money into this, and you want to be successful, you have to have a plan. So the way that I got through it is I just had to, step up. I had to step up. And in terms of the college that I picked, so I picked Spelman because I knew I was going to be surrounded by like-minded women who valued excellence. And iron sharpens iron. So if I'm around people who are excellent, who are studious, who are, of course not all the time, everyone has work time, play time, but they're serious about getting the job done, well all of a sudden I gotta be serious too, because who am I talk to? No one's distracted right now, so I have to do my work too, that type of thing, until I became the type of person that I was around, which was a person who was more disciplined. Something else that I struggle with, I go to school in Atlanta. That's 6 hours from here. So homesickness was something I struggled with. I know some of y'all can not even imagine, missing Fayetteville. But you will. You will. If that's what you're going to. You'll miss your family. You'll miss familiarity. And so having to, navigate that was difficult as well. But just staying in contact with my mom, my family, was something that helped me through it. Any other questions? Oh. Yes?
So in terms of the work, how often do you get to not work versus work? I know there are shows where in college you kind of just do whatever. How often do you get to do free time?
Free time? It's really more based on your schedule. So of course, in college there are certain high times where it's just everyone's going in. So of course, when the semester first starts, everyone's getting their syllabi, and you're really trying to figure out what is the workload of this class. Everyone's really on it. That's a really high work time. Midterms. That's high work time as well, because you're going to get those midterm grades and you want to make sure that you're on track to pass the class. And of course, finals is crazy every semester. But depending on how you worked throughout the semester depends on how crazy finals is. So if you're going over 6 chapters in a class and you never read and you never went to class, and all of a sudden you got 6 chapters to learn by finals in a week, you're going to be losing you're going to lose your mind. But if you pace yourself over the whole semester, you'll be fine. And so for me, the way my schedule is I work as hard as I can those 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Spelman, you're my focus, doing this work. So I got my weekend where I can just chill or do what I want. But some people might be different. They might be the other way around. They do all their work on the weekends and be chilling during the week. I don't know how that works, but it works for somebody. So again, a big part of college is figuring out what works for you and how do you work. So that's why I really encourage y'all just to be self-reflective right now and kind of see, what is my work habits? What are my study habits? What works for me? Because if you don't do that now, you'll be doing it by trial and error in college, which can cost you some of the academic success that you want. Yes?
When did you decide to major and how did you know that that's what you wanted to do?
That's a great question. So I'm a political science major, Spanish and creative writing double minor. Sounds like I'm all over the place. But for me, when I first got to college, I didn't really have a frame of reference for professional, jobs. What could I do? The breadth of opportunity there is. So in my head, I was like, okay, you go to college, my mom's a teacher, so I was like, I can be a teacher, a lawyer or a doctor. I'm not good at math, so there goes doctor. I've spent most of my life in a classroom because my mom was a teacher. I don't want to do that. So I'll be a lawyer. And then I got to my first pre-law class and I said, oh, y'all really want to be lawyers. No, this is not for me. No, thank you. But the political science major, for me, the way it worked was I'm still interested in politics. So I'm not necessarily interested in law, but I'm interested in how political systems work and how governments work. So that's why I stayed in the major. And because I'm a poet and, writing creatively is something that's important to me, I picked up the creative writing minor. And as a student at Cumberland International, language fluency is one of the defining characteristics of the school. So I had been doing Spanish. So I picked up Spanish as a minor as well. And I know, does anybody have a sense of kind of nervousness when they think about what they're going to major in? That seems like a really important decision to make. Mm-hmm. Yes, I wanted to just affirm you guys in picking your major is not picking your career. Mm. Picking your major, especially who plans to go on to grad school maybe, or go to law school, medical school, anything like that, right? Especially for you guys, really for anybody, but especially for the people who are going into higher education after undergrad. Your major is just the lens through which you would enter into your graduate studies. So for instance, I'm a political science major. I'm going to grad school. I'm getting my Master's of Fine Arts in poetry. I want to be a writer. I'm a political science major. So that means I'm going into my creative writing program with a political science background. That's all that means. Schools don't look at that and are like, oh, well, you don't have the background that we need. No, they think that's interesting, actually. It's really cool. I have a friend who is a Spanish major on the pre-med track. How does that work? As long as she takes her required science classes, she can go to medical school as a Spanish major. So it really isn't as binding as you guys think it is. It's not, when I pick my major, I pick my career. All you are is choosing what you want your academic career and track to look like while you're in college. But you have all the time to commit to that. But don't think it's you're as married to it as we commonplace think. But yeah, that's how I picked.